shine on happy camper life. We're loving, living, and learning online on happy camper life.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the My Camp podcast. I'm Courtney. I am your host of the podcast. You are joining me live here in the Girls HC, and I'm really excited to introduce you to my brand new camp friend, Brooke Devoy. She is the Camp Quest Ohio program director, as well as sits on their state and national board for Camp Quest because it's everywhere, and we're going to learn all about it today. So welcome, Brooke. Welcome to the Girls HC. Thank you for joining us. So, what's everybody has a really good camp origin story. What's your camp origin story?
Sure. So I actually found out about camp myself when I was 12 years old online. I was browsing sort of secular communities on Facebook, and I found a page from Australia that posted a video of one of our camps in the States. And then I Googled it, and it turned out that at the time, Camp Quest, Ohio was about 45 minutes away from my parents' house. So, in a huge cosmic coincidence, it took me to Australia to get back home.
Wow. I just love that you're a 12-year-old searching for secular community groups on Facebook and found your own camp. Like you are a problem solver. So what were you looking for? Like what was it that you were looking for? Were you looking besides like secular communities, but like a summer camp for yourself? Like you wanted to do something cool over the summer?
I had gone to summer camp as a much younger kid, more of sort of the traditional, different kind of group each year sort of thing. But I wasn't even really particularly looking for a summer camp when I found Camp Quest, Ohio. I was more just looking to see like what the discussion was, what people were
Okay.
saying, what was out there. And it took me totally by surprise. I hadn't gone to camp since I was probably 9 when I found it. And I loved being at camp. I loved all the activities, but I was a little bummed out that I didn't get to see many of the same people from year to year.
Okay.
And as it turns out, Camp Quest, Ohio solved that problem, let me tell you, because about, I don't want to say a percentage and be wrong. I'd say probably 70% of our campers each year are returning.
And so tell me a little bit about the program. Is it a sleepaway? Camp Quest is a sleepaway camp, correct?
Right. So we are a week-long residential summer camp that operates in the United States. We have 11 affiliates nationwide for kids aged 8 to 17. This past summer, I actually went to 6 out of those 11 affiliates and did a week at each as a volunteer, completely volunteer run. And yeah, we're just here for fun, friends, and free thought.
So when you started at 12, have you been there ever since? Like have you missed a summer?
Yes, I missed 2020 and then 2021, and then 2022 was my first year on staff.
Wow. So what is the history of Camp Quest? I know it's for as far as like in the camp world, it's still kind of young.
Yeah, I paused there because I think we might end up needing to cut this later. It's
Okay.
sort of a little bit political, so I don't know if we need to workshop how to phrase it, but
Okay.
okay, I'll start.
Yeah.
So we were founded in 1996 in reaction to some larger camping communities not allowing secular or LGBT campers or staff members. So some of our early founders were members of the Free Inquiry Group running out of Northern Kentucky, which was basically just like a group of friends that got together and talked about everything that was going on in the world in the 90s. I don't know, I wasn't there. 1996 before my time, but
Oh,
uh um what was I saying?
Free Thinker Society, group of
Oh,
friends, hanging out, talking
yeah.
about before you were born.
Yeah. So they saw a need for a summer camp, outdoorsy, recreational community for people who weren't necessarily belonging to, or parents for the children of parents who weren't necessarily belonging to a religion. and wanted to have a summer camp environment that was just sort of not connected to that in any way. So it started, we're Camp Quest, Ohio. We were the very first one, we're number one. Um, but it did not actually start in Ohio. It started in Kentucky, technically. That's my favorite trivia fact. And we've grown since then to about 11 affiliates. This summer might be 12, kind of varies a little bit each year since we're volunteer run, what we have the capacity to do. But yeah, how far we've come in 30 years. This will be our 30th year.
I've interviewed a lot of camps, and I feel like so many of them, their origin story is trying to like find a need in the community. So trying to find a need, creating a place where kids can go and feel and be themselves and feel free, which is really what the theme of summer camp is, regardless of whether it's affiliated with a religion, but it's a place where kids can go and feel like themselves and surround themselves with their favorite people. So it's like that is just like a universal theme of camp, and I hold it near and dear to my heart. So tell me a little bit about so it's a week long. How many weeks a summer do you run program?
So we don't own our own campground. We usually rent.
Okay.
So each affiliate will do anywhere from 1 to 3 weeks in a summer. Camp
Okay.
Quest Ohio currently only does 1 week per summer, just since we don't have many resources to buy a whole
Right,
campground.
right,
But
right.
yeah,
So if it's 1 week a summer, let's say Camp Quest, Ohio, like you are going, go big or go home. Like if it's 1 week, this is a major, very important week for all of those kids, because when you earlier, when you were saying it was for a week and you have kids that return, and I was like, wow, so I guess if they're doing multiple week, the same kids kind of do that same week. But if you're doing, 1 week a summer, then you do get those returners, and there's nothing like a camp friend. So how many kids do you see in one session?
so Camp Quest Ohio, you will usually see around 60, always trying to get that number up. But other affiliates around the country can do as many as 80 to 100, depending on the summer.
Wow, that's amazing. So talk to me, what does a typical day look like? Or, since it's just that 1 week, I bet every day is so special, and you could tell me something like kind of take me through the week. What is the week like at Camp Quest?
Yeah, so the week is generally pretty constant day to day. Monday, so the campers arrive on. Do you mind if I grab a schedule or like pull
Yeah,
up my
no,
schedule?
girl,
Because
grab a schedule. Yes,
I'm like, is it
please.
Saturday or Sunday? One moment.
Recently at my camp, the schedule has changed every year. Like it's a different start date, and it really throws you off when you're so used to
Ooh,
having it like consistent. So I feel you. I feel you.
right. Okay. So
Go.
campers arrive on Sunday, Sunday in the evening, and then they'll stay until that next Saturday. The days are pretty the same day to day because we just stay on site. But on the first day, they get their name games, icebreakers, getting to know your cabin, getting to know your friends you haven't seen since last year who are potentially much taller, than the last time you
Right.
saw them, especially if you're a staff member. Seeing those kids grow from year to
Oh,
year is nuts. It very heartwarming, but like it surprises me every time somehow.
mhm.
But day to day, you wake up, go to morning circle. Each cabin will usually do some sort of little chant, some sort of little skit, some sort of little fun something to get the day started. I recently introduced doing morning affirmations at morning circle,
Okay.
just saying positive things about ourselves out loud, even if we
So
don't
let's
really
do it
believe
right
it.
now. Let's do it. Let's do a pause. What would be, let's do some a
Ooh,
Camp
that's a
Quest,
good one.
Ohio morning positive affirmation. Lay it on me,
It's
Brooke.
okay to make mistakes.
It's okay to make mistakes. Yes. Done
You
is
did
better than
great.
perfect.
Yes.
Yes. Good job. Good job. Oh, I love that. All right. So I digress. Go back. So we're doing positive affirmations, and then
Positive affirmations, then we'll go to breakfast, and then cabin cleanup, which can get pretty competitive. Team games, where you sort of have the opportunity to mingle with people from outside of your cabin, compete throughout the week for the grand prize. Each day is a little bit of a different challenge. My favorite is the fashion challenge day.
Ooh,
It
I was gonna
usually
just ask.
involves, yeah, it usually involves taking a bunch of stuff from yard sales, recyclables, having like a prompt and dressing up your team coach, which is usually a staff member, one of our LTs, and then having them walk the runway. And yeah, it's a great time. Then we'll do a nature hike. We're on a really beautiful campground in the east of Ohio called Cantor's Cave. And we have naturally occurring waterfalls and caves and all these huge rock structures. Super amazing for hiking. Then we'll go into an educational block, which is usually split up by age. So our 8 to 12-year-olds will be together, and then our 13 to 17-year-olds will be in a separate group. And we'll just do something educational based around maybe leadership development, strength spotting, humanist education, just learning how to be excellent to each other. Then going into lunch, traditional swimming, then a break, kind of downtime, and then an activity block, the first activity block, where you can choose between maybe if you want to do art or science, or one of my personal favorite activities, Socrates Cafe.
Oh,
Socrates Cafe is where people of all ages, staff members, younger campers, older campers, will get together and decide on some sort of like big, deep question that we all want to think about. Maybe like, what's the meaning of life? Or like ethical problems, like maybe the trolley problem. I don't know if you're familiar. Just like these big things that you probably don't ordinarily talk about if you're a young person with your friends and you
right.
sit down. And the goal isn't to win, it's not a debate club. It's just to get better at being better questioners together.
Okay.
So that's a really unique activity we do. And then we go into dinner, another activity where you can choose kind of between a few things. And then our evening program. Last year on Monday, the evening program was really special because we told the campers there was going to be a game night. And we set up all the board games on the tables, in the dining hall. They come in, people start doing ping pong, whatever. And then one of my co-counselors, August, busts in a detective costume and says, the camp director has gone missing and there is a mystery afoot and we must solve it through clues. So then the campers split up into groups and did basically little escape room puzzles and sort of assembled this plot, this murder mystery. Something went down by the campfire, s'mores were involved, very dramatic. I'd say the detective costume was probably my favorite part, though.
Right.
Um, and that could be anything from a campfire. We do our LT carnival, social karaoke. And then after that, you get ready for bed and get ready to do it all the next day.
Is there a favorite meal? Like, do you serve the same foods like year after year? So they're like, oh, we can't wait for pizza night, or we love the macaroni or whatever. Do you have like a favorite meal?
No, I will say we have a lot of vegan and vegetarian campers at our camp.
Okay.
And we've had a few campgrounds tell us, like, this is our first time dealing with this kind of thing. So bear with us. But we love where we're at. We love Camp Cantor's Cave. They're super great. The kitchen staff is awesome there. So it's a little different from year to year, but we definitely do like to keep them on their toes, kitchen staff
Oh,
wise.
I love that. How do you celebrate birthdays at Camp Quest?
We don't do anything particular besides a opt-in to skipping around the room.
Okay.
Skip around the room, skip around the room. We won't shut up till you skip around the room, skip around the room, skip around the room. We won't shut up till you skip around the room. Uh,
We skip around a pole at ours. So skip around a pole, skip around a pole. Please don't stop till, yeah, you skip around the pole. We won't stop. So, yeah, we won't stop till you skip around the pole. So that's another universal skipping in camp, universal theme.
Someone will also usually come out in a giant blow up inflatable unicorn costume. Uh, if it feels right.
I noticed the blow up unicorn costume on your website, and I was like, no, I was like, note to self, I need one of these for this summer for camp. So I loved the unicorn, the blow up costume. So my mind was blown, as I was on your website taking notes, and you have Camp Quest, and it's so I was like, oh, question, understand, explore, search, and test. Like those are the themes of your camp, which is an acronym for quest, right? Question, understand, explore, search, and test. And I thought that those values or those themes that you carry on through the summer are really, really cool. So you had mentioned that your staff, since it's only 1 week, it's probably a little bit easier to find. Like all your staff is volunteer.
100%. There are two employees at the national level who kind of oversee all 11 affiliates, but on the state level, we're all volunteer. Yeah.
Who are your volunteers? Who's looking to give a week to be with Camp Quest? Like who are these people?
It's pretty interestingly changed over time. Back in 1996, in the old days, if you pull up our camp group photo, you're probably going to be pretty surprised that it doesn't quite look like what you might expect most camp group photos to look like,
Mhm.
because the free inquiry group was mostly retirees.
That's
So they
funny.
got their friends and people they knew. Then it moved more into being anybody and everybody you can imagine. We have archaeologists, college professors, aerospace engineers, but we also have, people who work in an office, people, college students, high school students, everybody, anybody and everybody. But recently, we've gotten into the phase where it's a lot of former campers who are coming back, like me, and coming into those leadership roles, taking ownership of the place they grew up, and really just making it our own.
I really think one of the beautiful things about your camp is the fact that it's a week. Though I go to camp for 7 and I love that, but because it allows people who would not normally be able to take a week off of work and go spend a summer at sleepaway camp to relive their childhood or have that camp experience as an adult, because it's so you can't put a value on that. And you're just making it accessible to everybody. And how beautiful is that? You have all these amazingly overqualified people who are given who want to be at camp so bad that they are coming and volunteering and giving their time and enriching the lives of these kids. I loved here you have humanity at its finest. Like that is what you have, guys. That's what they have on their website to describe Camp Quest, Ohio. Humanity at its finest, at its best. And it just that like struck with me. Um, I think you have a really special place. And, the fact that it's just 1 week, I think makes it even all the more special because they can't choose 1 week, they can choose 1 out of 7 weeks of the summer to do their week long. It's 1 week and it's special, ride or die, go big or go home. So tell me, Brooke, where can someone go if they want to learn more about Camp Quest, Ohio? If they want to spend a week and volunteer and give their time, how can we find out about it?
I'd recommend you go to campquest.org and take a look at the affiliates that are running this summer. Take a look at the dates, see where you might want to volunteer, where you might want to visit. There are places all over the country, Texas, Washington State, Ohio. Just check out, see what's near you because they're all different, but they're all the same in those really core, important ways. I was amazed when I traveled around this summer just how much each place felt like home, even though I was with different people each time.
Camp has a way of doing that, it really, really does. So, if someone wanted to donate, right, I'm assuming you guys are open for donations. They can do that too on the website.
Yes, let me double check. Okay, so if you'd like to donate to Camp Quest, you can go to campquest.org and then click that little yellow donate button up in the top right corner.
I love that. And how many summers is this for you now, Brooke?
This will be my 10th, and it might be my biggest yet. Not to get anybody too excited, but big things are coming for Camp Quest, Ohio.
Amazing. Well, I hope we can check back in. I want to hear how your summer was. Have the most amazing week ever. I'm going to be sending you good vibes. Guys, go check out Camp Quest online, see how you can maybe be a part of Camp Quest for a week. It's a dream, let me tell you. Thank you for joining me today in the Girls HC for today's episode of My Camp. We had Brooke Devoy from the Camp Quest, Ohio. She's the program director. If you love hearing more about My Camp, you can check out My Camp where you listen to your podcasts. And I'll see you here next time in the Girls HC. I'll save us more for you.
Take a moment to shine.